How many people do you think you've made them change their profile picture? Like, it's got to be like a million.
I mean, I'd say a million. I mean, between the baby thing.
Welcome back to 25 Months. I am your host, Tejas Hullur.
And I'm your co-host, Jack Neel. This is a podcast about understanding creators and how they will sustain their success.
So today we have a very special guest on, the man who created the biggest inside joke on TikTok, had a legendary collab with Arby's, and in general, has honestly one of the most engaging audiences I've ever seen, Mr. H1T1.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You're like one of the very first people, I swear, that I saw on TikTok. Like you are killing it. You've been killing it, and it's awesome to see just the ride you had. So like, I think one thing is we want to kind of understand your background. We kind of want to understand your process and like where we're going from here is kind of the structure of the show today.
Right. I mean, it's crazy because like at first, I mean, everybody says they started TikTok as a joke, you know what I mean? But like, I was just chilling in my room, bored. COVID was happening, you know, we're all locked in our houses. And I was like, I had not been on TikTok for months. So I missed the Charlie D'Amelio era. I didn't know any of those names, like Noah Beck, Griffin. I didn't know any of those names. But I was like, you know what? I'll just get on TikTok, start making some videos. And at first it was really slow and I was just kind of like having fun with it. But I wanted to go viral so bad. And
So what content were you making in the beginning?
In the beginning, I was just like kind of making like jokes kind of things, but they weren't really doing that good. And then here's what I did. I started standing in front of tweets, actually, believe it or not. I would do the green screen and I was
all been there.
I mean, believe me, it's crazy when I say this, but I really think that I was the first person to ever stand in front of tweets on TikTok right when COVID had started. And then all of a sudden, so many other people were standing in front of tweets. And I almost feel like I messed things up because now that kind of content, people are just like, oh, all he does is stand in front of that tweet. But I remember I did it. But what was unique about when I was doing it, I feel like I was interacting with my fans a lot in the comments. And that's when I started that whole H thing. So people kind of saw me as like a mystery man because they didn't know anything about me. They just saw my face standing in front of a tweet with no emotion or expression at all. You know what I mean? And it's just so funny how that happened.
I kind of want to break that down actually because it is a killer like structure on TikTok, right? Yeah. As simple as it sounds, it's like, hey, let's put the green screen filter on, right? Screenshot a tweet, put it in the back. I want to ask you why you thought that worked because you said, right, that you wanted to try going viral and this was a way to go viral. Why do you think that worked?
It was just the content, you know what I mean? There's so many funny tweets out there, funny memes out there, so why not throw them on TikTok, you know what I mean? And it cracked people up.
So it just take a model that already succeeded on a different platform, bring it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so you literally didn't do any emotions.
No, I just stood there with my face like this, and people thought I was some mystery. And then, so I started replying to every single comment. I replied just H.
Why?
H. It meant nothing, you know what I mean? And I had seen memes about H in the past, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just bring this word, this letter with no meaning over onto TikTok and see what happens? And people were like, what does this mean? Like, what is this kid doing? You know what I mean? So
if you don't know who I am, I've made this a pretty popular meme on TikTok, and I've decided that I want to put it on a billboard so that we can change the world.
At this point, was your username H1T1 or was it something like John or
my username has always been H1T1 actually. I have never changed my username. When I signed up, they gave me H1T1 because when I signed up, I had a Twitter account. I used to go on all these like forums to buy usernames, and I had the Twitter handle H1T. So when I signed up for TikTok, I signed up with Twitter, and by default, it gave me the username H1T1. And I always wanted to change it, but I had already gained some traction. So I was like, people kind of know me as that. And like, I was just like, I feel like it's kind of iconic now, despite the fact that it has absolutely no meaning.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We started pretty hot here. I wanted to understand, John, who were you before TikTok? Right? Like, and why did you get into social media in the first place? You said you kind of bought and sold handles. I'm assuming you were on Twitter. Like, who were you?
I was doing Instagram theme pages. So I ran a page for basketball. I was running out my personal because I would sell sneakers. I would resell sneakers. I actually have some in the back. But I grew my page through that with something called Mass Planner, which basically interacts. It's basically a bot that interacts with other accounts, so other people will. Yeah. Traffic will come to your account. Those kind of stopped doing things, and I realized TikTok is where it's at.
I'm not sure if you know this, John. I was also like kind of in that space talking to a bunch of people like selling usenames because for those of you who don't know, like meme pages are quite lucrative on Instagram. Like, how much would you say like 100,000 follower meme page with like good engagement goes for?
Wait, I'd say, I mean, in 2016 it would be going for 2,000, but now I don't know, maybe 7,000 if the insights are good. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I might be a little.
I think Daquan sold for how much, Tejas? We talked about this, like $17 million.
Yeah. It was something crazy.
There was big money in like the business of selling usernames, flipping them to these meme pages, growing these pages. There was these Telegram group chats where people would communicate and pay for shout outs from each other.
Underground.
Really?
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's
I
super
know,
interesting. That's how John got into social media, because that was like my first try at becoming like social media famous, was growing these meme pages, and like my first taste of like money was selling these usernames. And for those who don't know, like I've bought and sold a couple of usernames on TikTok, because like some of these old basic things, it just happens to be which platform we're on now doing it. You know, like it was a thing on Instagram, it was a thing on Twitter. It's a thing on like PS4 to sell these usernames. And now that TikTok is a thing, there's actually some money to be made if you have a valuable username.
People are doing it on TikTok now. Actually, I know a few people who do this. This is a crazy secret. I might as well just say it. There's people who find the old Musical.ly crowned accounts, because when Musical.ly turned into TikTok, the crowned accounts still stayed verified. So people will go through, look for hashtags that say crowned, find an inactive account, try to track the person who owned it down, ask them for it, get it for like $400, sell it on OG users for like 1,000, 2,000. I don't even know how much they go for now. But man, it's crazy, that underground game. OG users is crazy.
Yeah, I know all these people in the community. When I got unverified on TikTok from my username FYP, just a quick story about it. I had the username at Jack Neel, bought the username at FYP for $1,000, which may sound like a lot to you guys, but for those who don't understand the username game, this is very, very cheap for like one of the most OG usernames on the platform. It's worth a lot more today. But anyway, this got me unverified on TikTok because TikTok said I was impersonating them. But I know how to switch FYP to a verified account because of this whole like Musical.ly crown thing. It's not very hard to buy a verified account. Just not a lot of people know about it.
Dude, that's crazy how underground that is.
Well,
like, is it still a business model today? Like, is this something you two are doing?
I'm not doing it anymore. Because it's a really sketchy business. Half the time you're getting scammed. I've learned my lessons. I've actually the same website's actually been hacked twice, at least for as long as I've been on it. So I've had instances where all my passwords were hacked. I had to change everything twice. I mean, it's crazy because there's a lot going on. People will breach the site, and
So me, I actually do have a story about this. So recently, I think about when I met Tejas for the first time, about 5 months ago, I bought the username Bitcoin, and I bought this username for $10,000. People were like, "You are an
on Instagram
idiot,
or
bro."
TikTok?
TikTok, Instagram,
TikTok.
It'd be worth more.
Right.
But I saw it listed in this like master list, this master Excel sheet. I saw like the username Cook, the username Jack, the username John, like all these OG usernames. And at the very top for the most expensive, the most expensive was at Bitcoin. And I was like, I have to have this. I'm making an offer right now. They had it listed for 15, talked them down to 10. And I've held on to this thing for months. I thought about making a theme page with it. Those are quite lucrative. I thought about making a personal brand about crypto. Never went through with that. But then I get a message a couple of weeks ago, and it's the guy who owns it on Instagram and owns it on Twitter as of recently. It's these Swedish millionaires, and they reached out to me.
Oh, boy.
And they basically headhunted me and sent several like very like big marketing business people, all blue checks on Instagram, to get this username from me. Sold it the other day for $30,000.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
you sold it?
Crazy.
Bro, congrats.
That's
wild,
insane.
dude. Are you guys is this like against TikTok terms and conditions, anything like that? Like, what's going on?
It's against every term of condition. Well, on like Instagram, I think it is at least.
Yeah,
No,
we're
it's so
completely
wild.
joking about this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
All
TikTok,
hypothetically,
it's just not happening.
Like hypothetically, if someone bought the username Bitcoin and resold it, that'd be cool.
I would have hypothetically made $20,000. That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
That's awesome.
But No, I mean, going back to you, John, I was like, I guess one big question is like, is there anything you see in this time you sold, you bought and sold handles, right? Even your time on Instagram with meme pages that like attributed to your success on TikTok today. Like, I'm just so curious why creators come onto these platforms and like, especially like you're killing it, dude. You're killing it. You just hit 3 million followers, right, on TikTok, right? I mean, your engagement is off the charts. Like, would you say like anything growing up and doing these like kind of like when social media wasn't the buzzword, right? What did you see?
I've always wanted to do something creative. I feel like I finally found the thing I was good at, but like, dude, 2 years ago, I was trying to make rap music on SoundCloud, and it is still out there. If anyone wants to try and find my SoundCloud music, go for it. I told my fans, 5 million, I'll leak the SoundCloud. But yeah, I mean, I tried everything. I wanted to do everything, you know what I mean? Tried playing
Producer, roll that
doing
clip.
all that. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just, I finally found my thing with TikTok, and I'm so blessed, you know what I mean?
No, I think that's great. I think one thing I want to break down is you have something that so many people strive for, and there's no formula for it, and that's how to really like engage and move your community, right? It's like everyone tries to do this thing like call to actions, like, oh man, I want my community to like do X, I want my community to do Y, but like you have like more than anyone have successfully done that, and so like. I want to break down the inside joke. Like I think that's such a monumental period for TikTok, right? Where it's like you started, like we've seen creators today basically take that same concept, but nothing beats you. So like walk us through what you were doing with this whole inside joke thing on TikTok.
I was bored. I was at 950,000 followers. People think I had like no followers before I started it, which is like completely false. You know what I mean? But I had 950,000 followers, and I basically said, I'm bored. I want to do something cool. I want to do something. And the word that came to my mind was FOMO, fear of missing out. You know what I mean? What can I do that's going to really grab people's attention and make them not want to miss out? So I made a post saying, hey, I'm going to go private in 24 hours. You know what I mean? And start the biggest inside joke on TikTok. You know what I mean?
And how many views did this video get?
It got like 1.2 million, 1.3 million. People were going crazy in the comments, like, go private already. But I wanted to go private at the exact time I said I was going to go private. And I did at the exact time said I was going to go private. I made another post the day after, actually, and I said, I'm going private at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You know what I mean? I could have milked it out more, you know what I mean? Get the numbers up. I could have hit 2 million, but I didn't want to. I wanted to actually, interact with the fans and people. And I ended up going private at that 3 o'clock time when I said I was going to go private. And just right after that, 1, 2, 3, like you could see the requests just coming in because people still saw it on the For You page. And then finally TikTok, the algorithm was like, oh, he's private. Took it off the For You page. And then I'm sitting there like, all right, I actually didn't know what the joke was going to be.
I saw this on Friends Only. John's like, guys, I don't know what to do for this.
I said, guys,
people are commenting like, you didn't have a plan, John? What do you mean you didn't have a plan for this?
I was like, I don't really know what to do. Talked to some friends, and one of my good friends that I met on TikTok when I had like 100K was like, dude, I have this really good idea. Super smart kid. His @ is Unknown Pigman. Awesome kid. And he was like, dude, you should do something where just like scare creators. And I was like, all right, we're going to comment on every creator's posts. I'm going to duet them when I'm private, and we're going to comment H1T1 exposed you. And that's where it started. And I was like so hyped up. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
So was there any part of you that's like this is, did you know this was going to work right when you were like telling people like, oh, I'm going to go private?
I was just bored. I had no ideas, and I was like, I might as well try this out. I didn't think the video was going to even do good. I thought it was going to flop, and then all of a sudden I go back on my phone and I'm like, oh, it just hit 1 million. And 1 million was one of those things I was like really excited about. You know what I mean? Like I was really looking forward to that. I had no idea I would hit. Every day as a creator, you wake up in the morning and you never know. You could blow up that day. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Exactly.
No, dude, it's insane. Like, how many followers did you see request you or request to follow you at like the peak of the Instagram?
So by the time it was done, how many requests did I have? Or by the time I went public again? So it's crazy because TikTok wasn't really prepared for something like this because they're not used to big accounts being private. And when I unprivated it, it caps out the top of the screen. At least at the time, it caps out and just says 10,000 plus. So I didn't really know the number, but I calculated it and I figured it was around like 500 to 800,000 because I looked at my insights and it said I had 2.3 million profile views each day. Or like 2 million one day and 2.3 million the other day. People were just looking at my profiles from the tags on the other posts.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
it was to the
crazy.
point where you couldn't manually
I couldn't.
just
Yeah.
accept all these
So
people.
TikTok was literally not updated. So when I go public again, like 6 follow requests accepted. 6. And so I still have the follow requests up there. And what happened was people would see my posts, but instead of follow or following, it would just be stuck on requested. So people couldn't unrequest me and my account was public. They were literally just locked in. They couldn't follow me. They had to block me and unblock me if they wanted to actually follow me. And it was actually an issue because when I was making my normal content, a lot of people couldn't follow me because it just was stuck at requested.
And these people who like initially were attracted to that video would like be the kind of people that would be interested in your content, you know? So like you have 500 to maybe 800,000 people that like could be your fans, but like you can't reach them. So did you reach out to TikTok? Did you try to get this resolved?
I reached out to one lady. She said, "Oh, the team will look into it," and then they never really replied to me. But I tried everything. Like I tried running TikTok on my PC and starting a macro that would manually accept them all. But the screen, it was so glitchy though. And the problem is also TikTok doesn't like those softwares for the macros, so they don't even let you log in or even use it, which makes sense. You know what I mean? Because a lot of bots and stuff.
Dude.
But now apparently the requests that doesn't happen anymore because I finally figured out how to accept them all.
Heck yeah. Okay, that's good though.
So let's talk about the reaction to this. Like, who were the big creators involved? Did like anyone did you get like a Charlie D'Amelio to be like, what's going on? Like a Vinny Hacker type? Was there anyone that like you were like, wow, I really reached this person?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of people. My favorite was probably Griffin Johnson. I mean, he's an awesome guy. I hit him up and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Just, I know he loved it. He said, this is so funny, dude. He DM'd me back. He was like, dude, this was hilarious. And then I had other creators block me. There's one who had 1 million, blocked me, still has me blocked. I hit him up on Instagram, DM'd him, dude, I was just a joke. I'm really sorry. I'd love to be friends with you. Blocked me on Instagram. And then now he's at like 10 million, 11 million, but I have no idea what he does because he blocked me way back when. I feel so bad too. He seems like a great guy, but like,
his name is Joe Bartolozzi
or something. Joe, man.
Is it Joe?
No, it's not Joe.
No, okay. That's
and then
that's so
also
funny.
one of the other people I reached was Bella Porch actually. So for this one, I actually did. I think what the tagline on this one wasn't H1T1 exposed you. It was like stop simping. Are you simping for at H1T1? So Bella Porch sees all these comments that say, "Are you simping for at H1T1?" And she actually replied to it and said, "Guys, the rumors are not true. I am not simping for H1T1." And I saw the comment. I screenshot.
I'm sorry to hear that, John.
I know, right? It's really sad. But I screenshotted the comment, go back to the post an hour later, comment was gone. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad I screenshotted it though. I mean, the screenshot's golden. And what's funny is because like she only had like 10 mil at the time. Now she has like friggin' 60 mil. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, she's on a whole nother road. So you successfully crafted like what we like to call it's like the snowball effect, right? It's like people saw this going, they wanted to be part of this because so many people were already in it.
Right.
It's kind of the same reason we're like why like Charlie D'Amelio blew up. It's like so many people are like why is she at 125 million followers, right? It's because one, she was the hype. She was everything on TikTok. Like her name was synonymous with the app TikTok, right? And so when you saw someone gaining almost 1 million followers a day, right, you wanted to be a part of that.
Exactly.
So I guess my question for you is like, do you see yourself crafting like this snowball effect again? Like, can you see yourself like now that you did it once? Like, what are some key takeaways? Can you craft this? Is there a way to like formulate this, or is it almost just the right time, the right place, and like luck all play into this?
One of my good friends told me that X from Party Shirt, actually. He told me that.
Yeah.
What was the quote he said? He said, talent is hard work and luck combined. It's a combination of hard work and luck. But my biggest thing is like, what was I going to say? I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I wake up every morning. I don't know what I'm going to post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll scroll on my For You page forever trying to get some inspiration, or even throughout my regular life, conversations and all that. I'll hear something and be like, oh, I know what to post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. But every morning I'll wake up. I really don't plan these things out, and they kind of just come to mind as I'm moving, and I think that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean?
No, so do you have no bank of content? You don't have like a bank of ideas?
No, I don't do the drafts. I feel like the second I get an idea, I got to make it and post it.
Or
Wow.
someone will
What does that
take it.
process
Is that
look
kind of
like?
the
Yeah.
psychology?
It's just like, I feel like when I come up with the idea, I just have the energy to make that video, and I'm like, if I don't make it now, I'll either forget about the idea or it'll get lost in my list of ideas that I write down. You know what I mean?
What would you classify your genre as? Like Jack, you can say he's like a true crime storyteller. For me, it's like business content. What would you classify yourself as?
I don't even know, because like I try so many different things. You know what I mean? I kind of want to say comedy, but at the same time, it's almost kind of unique. You know what I mean?
That's cool. No, I like that.
I've seen John make content similar to mine before, but like at
Right,
the end of
right.
the day,
And those did really good,
it's
actually.
Still, to me, it's still John making my kind of content. You know, like it's not. He's a storyteller. It's like there's a very unique personality there. Do you have any advice for creators like trying to show their personality in their content? Because I mean, you've done it in a very real way.
I think like a lot of big things are just cross promote. You know what I mean? Make sure your followers want to go to your other socials. Try to build up hype. You know what I mean? And just interact with your fans. You know what I mean? Because I remember back when I was posting the memes, I was just replying to every single comment with the same thing, and then it made them want to like understand who I was. You know what I mean?
Just that H. You commented one lowercase h.
And that's what did it. Because I still see
That's
those
so
same
crazy.
fans. Those are my most interactive fans, the ones who have been there since day one.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of like today people just commenting H?
Yeah,
and
I
stuff?
get a lot of DMs, H,
Really?
H. And
I
it
love
kind
it.
of ties into my username, too, which is not even, it's
too.
like a coincidence.
Really? It was not okay. That wasn't connect. That's crazy. So I think it's interesting that you said that you don't have like a bank of content, because do you stress yourself out to find pieces of content? Then?
yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll sit on my couch for 6 hours, not able to come up with something. And like,
Jeez.
it sucks, but like, I know like it'll come to me at some point, but I feel like it's almost part of the process for me. The creators who have it really the best are like Cobby Lame, Joe Bartolozzi, because the fans, they tag you in the post, and then you got the content right there. You know what I mean? Joe will get tagged in a post. He knows what to do. You know what I mean? He can go there and then do his thing, which is awesome. You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to figure out how I can get something like that going. You know what I mean? Because that kind of reaction content just kills it.
Would you do a reaction content?
I've
Have
actually
you?
done a few in the past month, and I made two
yeah?
videos, and I grew 40K from those two videos.
Oh shit!
I'm almost
Okay.
at 3.1.
Heck yeah, dude! Congrats!
Congrats,
Thank
man.
You just hit 3. That's so wild. The question is like, you have an idea, right? Do you, I guess, like, what is your process of executing the idea? Let's take one of the ones that you have similar to Jack's content, right? You have like, hey, here's some interesting facts, right? Like, what's one that's similar to Jack, like yours, that you can think of off the top of your head?
You did something
it
about
was-
a guy whose head was in a jar.
Yeah, I forget where I was, and then I think I might have been on Instagram or something. I saw something about it. Like, it was like one of those like spammy ads or whatever. It's like, see what happened to this guy. And
okay.
I went on Safari, looked up the story, thought it was so cool, figured I'm going to make a video about it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So you said you figured you want to make a video about it. How'd you go about with like, hey, I have 15 seconds, 20 seconds on TikTok. It's a blank canvas. What are you thinking about when you get that idea?
Just tell the story and fill out every single detail that people might find fascinating. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So are you like very analytical at all then? Do you look at your analytics? Like, do you look at your watch time,
Yeah.
your retention? You do? Okay.
I think the two most important things. Everybody says, "Oh, click share copy link," because it's a share copy link. I can stress this so much. Share copy link does not work. What works is actual shares when people click the share button and actually share the video with their friend. Click on the Snapchat button, post it on their private story. You know what I mean? That's what really works. But share copy link doesn't work because TikTok knows, someone's spamming it. It's one per person, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Someone who shares it twice, I feel like it won't count. And I've done so much research and practice on the algorithm. The only time share copy link will actually work is if someone's rewatching the video so many times as they're clicking share copy link. My biggest things are rewatch rate and share copy, and not share copy link, rewatch rate and natural shares.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot because you're right. I know, Jack, you have some insight on what you think too. Like, are the strongest analytics? And
I'm big on watch time. I think Tejas and I are big on watch time,
especially for your type of content.
And then me specifically, I'm big on retention, which is basically like what percentage of the video was watched and how many times was it watched. Like, you want to make content that people watch twice, which is why people do loops to begin with, because they're like, wait, what? Did the video
or the pause?
end even?
You have to pause to read some text messages. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They'll flash
that's why your
something.
Twitter thing worked. That's why the tweets worked, because it's a 7-second video,
They
but
gotta
it
read
takes
everything.
you 13 seconds to read the tweet. So your watch time is like 195% or something,
And that's why those videos where everybody will say something that will cause a discussion in the comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, while the video's looping in the background,
over
people
and
are
over and over.
scrolling
with
through
a catchy
the comments.
beat. That's all it takes.
Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. I like to say this to anyone who asks me, right? Like, a lot of things we say, yes, are correlation because we don't have evidence, like, from TikTok or that, like, this is it. But you think about it, right? TikTok is a business at the end of the day. They want to make money. How do they make money? By selling ads. How do they get ads? By getting attention on their app. How do they get attention? It's by people who stay on their app longer. So isn't it the only thing that makes sense for them to promote the content that keeps people on the app?
Right.
Right. That's it. So I align
Or
with that
keeps
fully.
people
That's
coming back to the app. That's another thing. Like a series.
I love it.
And I think that's a good lead into one particular series by John, Arby's. Tell us about
Beauty
that.
transition.
Beautiful. Oh, I mean, so basically, it all started when I was, sitting in my room. I had this idea. I had it written down for a little bit, and I was kind of sleeping on it. But I was like, okay, what's a company that would, probably interact with my video a lot? You know what I mean? And I just thought I'd seen Arby's comment on a lot of TikToks, and I'm like, okay, they're super active. So I made this video.
Moving upside down, I'll find the things they say just can't be.
What do you know? It does decent, and Arby's comments on it, and then that was that.
What was the video?
So basically, I had a screen behind me, and I said, I went to buy a TV for $20 from someone, a flat screen TV for $20. I go home and plug it in, and an Arby's menu just popped up. You know what I mean? So the punchline is that someone took an Arby's menu and sold it to me.
Wait, this is real? It's
no.
real?
It's not real. It's a satire.
Okay. How did you come up with that idea? That's so genius,
Specific.
right? In the sense that, it's so specific. It's so I would never have thought in a million years, I want to grab Arby's attention. Let me make a story of me buying a $20 TV, plug it in, and it's an Arby's. But where did that come from?
I just knew Arby's would, interact with the video, and I was like, okay, I gotta do it. Arby's is the one that's going to comment on the video. I could have done McDonald's, you know what I mean, Burger King, but they don't really use social media that good. And the beautiful thing about Arby's social media is that they just interact with these videos so much. It's great.
So what did they comment?
They comment, we're going to need that back now. That's what they commented, I think. It was a while back, but yeah.
I love it.
And then they follow me, so yeah.
So you made this first video about the Arby's. How many videos did you make? Feel free to go into analytics. What did this do for your account? Was there any music involved that you were promoting? How many views? How many videos? Let's do a deep dive into this, because this is a very fascinating story.
Right. I mean, the video blew up. I mean, I had 2 million likes. I think it has 17.3 million views now. But the beautiful thing about this series is that people saw it and they were like, okay, I want to put a little twist on this. So someone who followed me, great guy, his at is Kevin Kempt, I think. He made a video. He had 25,000 followers, right? And he made a video and said, some kid just bought a flat screen TV off of me. Little does he know it's just an Arby's menu.
No
and that
way.
video, because people who saw my video, the For You page works wonders. And then they saw that video, and people were like, oh my God, I just saw the first video. This is hilarious. So a whole storyline developed. Now you have some guy who's at an Arby's, and he's like, hey guys, I'm looking at the menu, and I'm looking up at Arby's, and one of the menus is missing. What would have happened?
No.
And then there's a girl who's going, guys, I just broke up with my boyfriend because he got me because I got him the wrong order at Arby's because the menu was missing. So there was just a bunch of, stuff
No
going on,
way.
and it was just beautiful. You know what I mean?
So you've created this multi-level dimensional storyline for Arby's, and like Tejas, I'm sure you can talk to this a little bit, but like, what is Arby's thinking?
Oh, they loved it. You know what I mean? They followed me back, and then I actually made a video with them where they DM me, and they're like, hey, we need our TV back. And I duetted. So I made another video where I held the monitor in my hands, and Arby's is like, and I'm like, I replied to their comment where they said, we're going to need that back right now. And I'm like, you guys are not getting it back. I forget what I said exactly, but I'm just holding the TV like this. I'm like, not happening. But they loved it.
Gotcha.
Dude, that's so crazy. Was there when you were here, were you like, let me go forward, like develop the story? Were you like, I should move on? Like, what was your thought process?
Yeah, I wanted to keep the storyline going, you know what I mean? And it started a whole trend, you know what I mean, where everybody was putting the Arby screen. Someone put the Arby screen in their Tesla, you know what I mean? Someone put it on their calculator. And it was kind of like the shotties like a melody in my head trend, where people would like play something and then that song would come up. It was kind of the same way, you know what I mean? Someone would turn something on and the Arby's menu came up. You know, it kind of became like an iconic sign, if that makes sense.
John, I don't know if like you give yourself enough credit, but what you did there is like what I hear from brands all day, right? They're like, how can we get that level of just viral social media marketing? And it's so funny to hear you when you talk about this. You're just like, yeah, I was just sitting in my room bored one day, and I was like, let me just like around with Arby's.
Right, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. You cannot plan this stuff out. I firmly believe that this kind of viral stuff can't be planned out. You see other companies trying to, do something, and you can tell they've thought it through, but it never ultimately works. You know what I mean? It all has to happen naturally, if that makes sense.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I feel like people can tell when something's, staged or like, you know what I mean? Like not natural and like a marketing scheme. But like the real thing about this is like, it was not a marketing scheme. It was just me having fun until I got sponsored, like 2 weeks later or so. But it's crazy.
How did that deal work?
they just reached out to me, and then I can't talk too much about that right now, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
Did you get free Arby's?
I got a lot of gift cards.
There you go.
So yeah, like I'm still loaded on gift cards in the back. You know what I mean?
No way. That's so funny.
It sucks because of a non-disclosure agreement or something similar. I'm sure they gave you that you can't go too in depth on that. But I mean, a big reason that we have John on this podcast is because of how unique this specific story is. Like a lot of creators talk about, "Ooh, I don't have any brand deals coming in, but like I have like a huge audience that like loves me and like would go after the brands I promote." But John, while it was a little bit calculated, even though he says it was all luck, and I think that's just him being humble. I really do think he created for himself a huge brand opportunity just by making content about a brand. He tracked a brand that was very active on TikTok, made a viral trend around him, made a viral trend around a song too. So I'm sure there was like even music offers at play or at potential, and he created a brand deal for himself. He created a source of income for himself just by making videos about a brand that he tracked down. It's amazing.
Dude, it's wild.
Thank you.
I guess just moving along here, right? Those aren't the only two things, right? One thing that I found impressive too was the whole having like hundreds of thousands of people paint on that Snapchat world.
That was awesome.
Right?
Oh my God.
That one was cool. You basically started the whole DaBaby trend too. Right?
I know. I feel like I don't get a lot of credit for that one too.
Yeah. No, I would argue that one is, I don't know if it's as big as
you look like
Arby's, but
DaBaby.
that's up there.
It was huge. Well,
It's
the
you
thing-
look like the baby. Yeah, that's the trend.
Well, no, it was actually when everybody turned their PFPs into DaBaby. That was before. But what I did was I made a group chat on Instagram with a bunch of fake DaBaby accounts. You know what I mean? Like, and I just put like 100 fake DaBaby accounts, so they all have the same profile picture on Instagram. I added a bunch of fake DaBaby accounts to a group chat to see how they all interact with each other. And I said, guys, I made a group chat with a bunch of fake DaBaby accounts, and I said, who's the real DaBaby? And then all of these DaBaby accounts just started fighting in this group chat. It was insane. And then I posted a video, got like 1.2 million likes, and then what happened? Just like the elves on Christmas. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Everybody changed their profile picture to DaBaby. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And they're like, I'm the real DaBaby. No, I'm the real DaBaby. And then every other comment section started having DaBabies in it. And then even people who didn't follow me saw the DaBabies and they were like, oh, I want to be DaBaby too. So it kind of became a trend off that.
Your comment section was insane.
It's all about the comment sections.
It really is, yeah. I mean, I'd say you got like tens of thousands of comments of just different DaBaby profile pictures with different usernames going like, no, I'm the real DaBaby. It was hilarious. Let's go. Yeah. That one is great. What was your favorite, like, let's all call these like, I don't know, your Arby's thing, just like events. What was your favorite one that you like made out of all of them?
Honestly, like, I think the elves on Christmas was awesome, and I can't wait to bring that one back. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Did you see that, Jack?
Yeah.
I'm actually not familiar. No.
So basically, everybody wanted a PS5 at the time, and I made a video where I have
the elf on the shelf.
I have a BB gun up to a elf's head, and I go, "Dear Santa, I want a PS5." And the elf has his hands tied behind his back, and I have the gun up to his head, and I go, "Dear Santa, I want a PS5." It just says that in the caption, and then everybody changes their profile pictures to elves, and they go, "Guys, what do we do? Our elf is held captive," and it's just a bunch of elves trying to save their friend of an elf, and I named him Bernard. So then I got a bunch of other elves came in, a bunch of other elves on the shelves came in to kind of support Bernard. I kidnapped them as well. And I'm like, I just want my PS5, you know what I mean? And it turned into a whole series and storyline. It was awesome.
Jai, you're insane. I hope you understand, like, I just come from such like a business background, and like what you're doing is like what the highest level marketing experts in the world that are literally getting paid 6-7 figures. You are doing that at a level 10 times better than them. Like, it's actually insane. I really don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Yeah,
As an upcoming senior in high school, man. Like, it just shows like how knowledgeable you are about social media and like how ingrained you are in this culture to like create a viral cult like following. Like, I mean, how many people do you think you've made change their profile picture? I don't think we're like realizing like how much you have to impact someone to change their profile picture to a specific thing to fit in with the trend. Like, how many times do you think you've done that?
How many trends or how many people do you think change their profile picture?
How many people do you think you've made them change their profile picture? Like, it's gotta be like a million.
I mean, I'd say 1 million. I mean, between the DaBaby thing, I mean, I made a bunch of people on that post change their profile pictures to DaBaby, and then other people saw those DaBabies in other comment sections, and it kind of just like, dominoes, you know what I mean? So some people didn't even know who I was, but they changed their profile pictures to DaBaby. But after that like domino effect, I'd say at least 1 million. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's unbelievable. It's not like you just created a viral piece of content. Like, you created a viral, like, you literally made chapters in TikTok's history. Right? It's like when people look back, like, you know how we're like, oh, you guys remember like the box area, right? Like with the Roddy Ricch song, or like you remember, I don't know, when like Noah Beck's Hype, right? Like, that was such a big thing on TikTok. Like, I remember things of like, yo, do you remember when the whole DaBaby craze was happening, right? Do you remember when the whole inside, like, you've actually like created just these like landmarks in TikTok, and dude, it's unbelievable. And the craziest thing is like, it's not just like a one-hit wonder for you. You've proven yourself to do this 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
Right. And you see so many creators who have their one big thing, and they just don't figure out how to come up with another one. You know what I mean? And I always have to be thinking, because the second I stop thinking, I won't be able to come up with another one. But I know my next one will come real soon. So
No, I mean, and that's a great segue, right? You're just saying like, well, how can you not make yourself a one-hit wonder? I'd love to just talk about what your future is as a creator and like where you see yourself. But we forgot to ask a question in the very beginning, and it's like the whole reason this podcast is titled 25 months. When did you start creating? You said.
So when did I post my first ever TikTok, or when did I actually start saying like, okay, I want to create videos and like routinely
when
post?
did you start to realize that like this could like be a career, have some money, like have a following?
Yeah.
Like when were you like, I'm a TikToker?
Right when quarantine started. So what was that? March 2020. I said, all right, I'm going to start doing this. And I said, I want to start making money from social media, see how I can do it. And then boom.
Gotcha. Okay. So with that, then I'd say you're little like 15 months in to this average statistic saying that, hey, like most content creators have around 25 months to like kind of get it hit and running, right? Like you're having success, and we found the statistic that said like a lot of creators their career span kind of dies off. So talk to me about like what you find what your future as a creator is. Like, do you want to be a creator for the rest of your life? Like, is this what you want to do?
I want to do business that can tie into this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if I can do influencer marketing, bring brands to creators, use my connections to my advantage, something like that. But at the same time, I want to be making my own content and kind of just see where things take me, if that makes sense.
Why do you want to do the kind of the behind the scenes there? Like, why do you want to do the business aspect?
Just plan A and plan B, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I always want to have different ways to go. And I feel like I could do both at the same time.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. So, I guess like let's talk on the creator end of it, right? It's like, TikTok is great and all, but like we're kind of seeing that views are. I don't know about you, but like I talk to a lot of the friends and my creator friends here. It's like views are kind of dipping a little bit, right? We see there's a lot more creators on the app, right? It's like TikTok. I feel like is no longer this hack in social media, right? How do you feel, I guess, right now with where you are just in TikTok?
Well, honestly, that's why I felt like I was in a rush to kind of get going with TikTok, because with any social media, YouTubers in 2007 could all blow up for doing whatever they did. But now YouTube, it's nearly impossible to grow, unless now Shorts is different. But you know what I mean? It's hard. It's really hard now. And I feel like TikTok's only going to get, harder and harder with so many more creators coming on. And the big thing is to kind of have that big foundation and that big audience, so you kind of have that that boost. I feel like I'm set. I have a great foundation to really blow up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
So
where do you
let's talk
see
about
yourself?
it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's talk about it. Like, what are some things that you're doing right now that maybe some other creators that have had their career as a social media person die in the past? Like, what are you doing right now to kind of set yourself apart and like kind of set yourself up for the long term? Because I mean, you talked plan A, plan B, like work in marketing, and then be a creative. I mean that's great, but like if you want to do those, like what are you doing right now to make sure that happens?
Key is cross promotion. No matter what, you need to have every single social media popping, because if you have you see so many people with 2 million followers on TikTok and 10,000 on Instagram, which is not a good ratio at all. You know what I mean? I really try to push my Instagram, really try to push my YouTube, working on it. You know what I mean? I'm a little rough right now. Twitch, I have like 30K. You know what I mean? Snapchat, I have 248K, but cross promotion's key, because what if TikTok got banned? You know what I mean? When everybody was saying it was going to get banned. Instagram Reels would have been the next thing, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the key. It all goes down to cross promotion, I feel like.
That's a good point, but I want to push back on that a little bit, right? Because it's like there is a key to cross promotion, right? Like not having all your eggs in one basket, but what's the limit to how many baskets you should have, right? It's like, okay, now if you have to concentrate on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, it's like
It's hard.
How?
You got to be
How
able to
are
have
you-
content you can post on everything, the same content. So like you have people, posting content strictly that like is made for TikTok. It's like this TikToker, blah blah blah. I mean, I used to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you talk about a TikTok account. That wouldn't do good on YouTube and Snapchat and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least I don't think it would. You know what I mean? Maybe it would. But you have to have a certain type of content. Like, look at Jack. Jack's posting all of his, old TikToks on YouTube, and they're blowing up. Snapchat, I'm sure they're blowing up too. You know what I mean? That's the content that you really can get going because you don't have to make separate, different content.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I love that. How would you say like your workflow is right now then?
I'm getting better. So like YouTube Shorts, I was having no success at all. I met up with you guys. You guys motivated me a ton, and then I started doing the shorts, and then I had a short like a few days later that hit like 22K. Then I had one with 7K, one with 10K, one with 11K.
Yeah.
I'm just 5 times a day I'm posting, pushing through. Hopefully I can get things to,
Dude, no, it's awesome. I mean, this podcast is gonna come out soon, but today's August 9th as we're filming it, and shorts is still like I'd say one of the biggest hacks in this current moment.
It is, and you know what? It's not going to be this way forever. So,
And,
Yeah.
and
I'm just praying myself
Instagram
works.
Reels has had a revitalization as of yesterday because now you can upload content longer than 30 seconds. So if you're like me and all your
Really?
content is 55 to 60 seconds long, I can post my content to Reels now. I mean,
That's
I've been
awesome. I didn't
posting
even know that.
miniature bits, but they like weren't very holistic. You could tell that like something was missing in those videos.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to touch on something John said, and it's when you get to a point as a creator when you're no longer making content to go viral on TikTok for that week. You're making content that you can post on a platform 5 years from now and it'll still make sense. Like, I mean, John, he's mastered the trends, but he's also like, you're starting to see that if you create some content that is called like evergreen content that'll last forever, it'll benefit you in the long run because you can grow
Right.
on these other platforms. Like, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I'd also like to hear your experience with Twitch, if you want to talk a little on that as well.
Yeah, well, about the evergreen content, like, exactly. My trends, they can't last forever. You see people like Kabi Lame, Joe Bartolozzi, their content is evergreen content because that will, it'll last forever. You know what I mean? With trends like that. And then, for Twitch, what was the other thing you wanted me to say? Was it Twitch?
Yeah. I'm just curious of your experience with Twitch, like how you've gone about like promoting an audience there, how you've gone about like developing a personality, like some people that have helped you. I'm just curious of it.
Right. No, I mean, Twitch is hard. And I actually took a break from Twitch to kind of focus on YouTube. But it's no joke. You really have to talk to your audience. You see so many people try to stream, even like really big names try to stream, and their viewers are down because, they're not interacting with the chat. They're kind of just playing the game. But it's all about talking to your fans, interacting with the fans and being like, yeah, and having a lot of energy towards them because that really, really helps.
I've heard it's like unforgiving, right? I hear like Aiden Ross is like one of the very first like Twitch streamers like I've watched, and he says like if he takes a day off on Twitch, he loses just an insane amount of, are they called subscribers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it's every 30 days they renew. So some people don't
Oh my
renew,
God.
and you know what I mean. So it's like they fall. It's
Oh
crazy.
my
Yeah.
God.
That
That's
130
that's
day, yeah.
mentally-
You got to stream every
Yeah.
single day, and that was my issue. Like, I would come home from school, and I was like, "Oh, I got to stream." You know what I mean? And I want to be able to, have like not be on a strict schedule like that. And you know what I mean? For Twitch, you really have to be on a strict schedule. And another thing about Twitch is it's so hard to grow naturally on Twitch. Like, you see people who want to stream on Twitch, and they're literally sitting there with 2 viewers. There's no For You page or, like, any real good way of growing on Twitch naturally from Twitch. You almost always have to cross-promote, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You kind of touched on this a little bit, saying like you came home from school, right, and you're like, oh, I have to go on Twitch and stuff. I think one super underrated question that I love asking creators, right, and it's a little vulnerable, but it's like, dude, how are you like mentally throughout this, right?
Okay.
Especially like you're basically doing a full-time job with school, and the full-time job there's no precedent of.
I've learned so much about myself and about social media in the past, and I even just came to this conclusion like a month ago, not even. I feel like there's, it's so toxic. Social media at the end of the day is really toxic. If it wasn't my job, I would probably try to stay off of it as much as possible. And like, believe it or not, because like you see so many people living these perfect lives, and at the end of the day, they really aren't. But it sets up this whole like thing in someone who's just the average consumer's head. They're thinking like, why isn't my life like this? It leads to, and it happens to me too. I see like all these people living these perfect lives, and I'm like, dang, like, it's a lot. You know what I mean? And then also, just like after a trend's over or something, you see the numbers dropping. It's like a drug. You know what I mean? You have like withdrawals. It's like crazy. It's like, what do I have to, I need to figure out how I can get it. And you almost just withdraw from it. And then you finally get like, used to the fact that you're not popping off as much anymore. And then you get that high again once you blow up again. It's crazy, but it really is like a drug. And then the whole idea. So like, yeah, it's a drug. And then it's also like fake in some sense. Not every creator, but there's a lot of creators who try to show that real side of life, which I love. But then there's a lot of creators who show they depict these perfect lifestyles, and I don't like it because I know what it does to people. You know what I mean?
No, I like
people
how you
talk
said
about.
No, go ahead.
People talk about TikTok being addictive, and we usually frame that as TikTok is addictive for the users. It keeps them coming back for the next video because it gives them dopamine and enjoyment watching it. But no one talks about TikTok being addictive for the creators. It
really is.
John, you had a video that you posted that I'm guessing took like, let's say, an hour or 2 hours for the Arby's video. Like, how long did the Arby's video take?
Oh, the Arby's video. Like me, I'm someone. My content doesn't take long to make. You know what I mean?
Like 5 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It took him 10 minutes to make. He posted it, and then over the next couple of days, he's getting millions of notifications on his phone, and then 2 months later, it dies down, and then like your brain just like left like off this high, like because I mean we're not
really
made
is.
to be like this. It's like if like in the Neanderthalic period, like if you were having luck with like catching tons of like animals and like eating meat and like having abundance of fruit, and then like you're starving, I mean, it's really deteriorating when you fall off of a high like that. I know what you're saying.
It's crazy how it works, but yeah.
Do you have any tips for other creators that you've like had help you?
Try not to focus on the numbers as much. Just focus on having fun. You know what I mean? And I still sometimes I get lost, but just have fun. Make what makes you happy. Don't put too much effort into it to the point where you're not enjoying it. Because I used to always, I would have times where I put an hour into a video, and the reason I don't do that anymore is because I'll put an hour into a video thinking it's like, oh, it's a perfect video, it's going to do so great, and then it flops. You know what I mean? It does terrible. So I realized, okay, I'm not going to spend more than 15 minutes. I talked about this with Malad, actually. I'm not going to spend more than 10 minutes making this video because if it flops, I'll feel terrible.
No, I like that. You got to just
a good piece of
enjoy
advice.
making it too.
Is it set a maximum time limit for yourself to make a video? And
Right.
if you can't make it by that time, you shouldn't even post it because like you're too invested at that point. It's
Exactly.
unhealthy.
No, I mean it's interesting too because we're in this era where we're not seeing this before, right? It's like all these old YouTube heads, they didn't mind putting 10, 20 hours into a video, right? Because it was very consistent what they'd get, right? Even like, yeah, they had views drop maybe a little bit, but like there was a range, an easy range where things would go. But I mean, TikTok is ruthless sometimes, right? It's ruthless on what like you can get.
Right, like even on Instagram, you can post something and you kind of know what you're going to get. But on TikTok, like there's people with 10 million followers. If you post a video that's just not something people would enjoy, like ads, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to do great no matter what your following is, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. But looking at this, we kind of have this one pager. Like we like to ask, dude, we like went through it. How you feeling?
Great. I love talking about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like my passion.
I know
so.
you do. We talked about like the entire time we were in Naples too.
Right.
We talked about
Our FaceTime calls, we're always talking about this stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy. No, Jack, anything from you?
I'm good, man. I'm like I'm very like astonished like how much you've done in such a short amount of time at your
Thank
age on
you.
social media. It's crazy,
Appreciate
man.
it.
It really is. And I couldn't stress this enough, dude, as someone who's talked to so many just like social media managers and like head of marketing and all this stuff. Like you are like, you've consistently constructed things that these people can only wish to do maybe once, right? They put tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars to create like a community that you wanted to do.
Right.
And it's unbelievable that you're a 17-year-old sitting in your room, right, making, like, do you film off your phone? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, and you've been able to achieve that. So,
yeah.
Pat yourself on the back, man.
Thank you, man.
You've done an insane
Appreciate
job. There you go. Basically, to end this off here, John, usually, like, in the future, we'd give you pieces of content of ours. But, like, we want you to be brutally honest. Brutally
You know
honest
us well.
with both.
You know our videos.
Yeah.
What's up?
Exactly.
Oh, I have to roast
what do you-
your content.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to
sir.
do that.
Yeah, roast like you.
Let's go into
exactly
it. Let's
that,
talk
right?
about it.
You know my content. You know Jack's. If you were in her shoes, what would you like do to improve?
What would I do differently?
Yeah, like or just even like advice you have for us. Like, is there anything red flags?
Okay, this is great. I talk to my friends about this, and whenever they ask me for advice, or I tell them, or they want advice, I say, listen, I'm gonna be super straightforward with you, and you might hate me after this, but I want you to know the reason I'm telling you this is because I love you and I want your shit to go viral, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I basically I'm just tough love. You know what I mean? I'll tell them. You know what I mean?
I love you too, John.
So-
We're ready.
Right.
We're ready, John. All
ready.
love here.
Tejas, I have to think about your content because it's a specific niche, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jack.
Now,
I think
Jack, on the other hand.
Jack, listen. No,
Jack. What's up?
I think I've actually saw you do this in one of your videos. My hair is falling apart here, guys. I have to look good when I roast you. Basically, I think the only thing is like I feel like show your personality more because you have such a unique personality and you don't show it as much in your videos where you just go like blood curdling facts that will blow your mind. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But like you have
Blow
such a
your
great personality.
Yeah.
Throw a little joke in there. And I saw you do that in one of your videos.
Yeah,
I think it
you
was a
did it
reel
recently.
I saw, but I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's so cool. Tejas, I
Yeah,
gotta
it's definitely
think.
true. This is something Tejas and I have talked about. I mean, we constantly, it's all tough love with us. Like, I'd say an hour before this call, like, I had a serious talk with Tejas about his content. I was like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah,
But-
Jack. Exactly. I mean, that's true friends criticize, right? At the end of the day,
Nah,
like
that's
if you
really tough
if you
love,
have
you
a
know?
yes man with everything, like if you have a person just being like, yeah, your content's great right now.
I'm never
Like,
going
yeah,
to do
it's
that
great
with
to
a
give
friend.
compliment.
I'm never going to be, if I don't like their
Yeah.
video, I'm never going to be like, dude, yeah, it's such a great video because, bro, that's like being a fake friend. You know what I mean? I'm going to literally be
Yeah.
like, dude, that video sucks. You need to up your game and fix it, you know?
Definitely. No,
For sure.
I mean, your roast to like John, I think you actually roasted me without even thinking about it. And I actually took this because I'm struggling with this right now in the fact of like you said I'm very niched, but it's opposite because I'm very not niched right now. And I actually don't know the direction I'm taking with
Okay.
my TikTok.
That
And
brings
just
me-
the
yeah.
fact and just the fact that you were like you couldn't think of something right away actually showed me that I was like, okay, I need to kind of work back and have some sort of repetitive format.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
What John said, I thought the same thing, Tejas. I was like, he's like, oh, I don't know what to say
Yeah.
about Tejas because he has no like specific thing or like it's so niche
Exactly.
or whatever. Like,
Right.
What's going on in John's head is like at this current moment, Tejas's content, like when you go to his page, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know, like all that's guaranteed is Tejas's voice and like Tejas's like beautiful look.
And it's
but,
good to
like,
try
when you go
different
to-
things.
When you go to John's page, however, you know that you're gonna laugh or you're gonna be like involved in some train. When you go to my page, you know you're gonna be entertained. by
Blood curdling
some
facts
mind
that will blow your mind.
No, I love it. But like there's truth behind that, right? That's hilarious. I love
Right.
it. No, I think you roasted me without even like wanting
Right.
to roast
No,
me.
I
appreciate
think
it.
that's great. Like once you get, that's what I used to do. I would try different things, do different types of content. Once you get that one banger, go off of it, if that makes sense. Branch off of it
Yeah.
because that one banger could be the rest of your whole entire account's, existence. You
No,
know?
I love it. I mean, and if I could give a roast back to you, John. I mean, the one thing I've heard, right? The fact of it, like, we've talked kind of off camera too, and I know one thing you said is like the biggest struggle is just ideation for you, right? It's like we've also kind of hinted like you have very trendy content, right? And the fact of like, yeah, your trends are kind of in the moment, but you're starting to bring some evergreen content in there. I'm just wondering if there's a way where you can you don't have to worry about ideation.
I'm trying,
right? Because like,
exactly.
Yeah. Set up a system like you pointed out Kabi and Joe Bartolozzi, right? I think they have literally 10 out of 10 processes on TikTok, right? Malad and Dylan also have like I'd say 9 out of 10 processes. The 1 point off is the fact that they need to be at a Cold Stone and Subway right now.
Right. That's right.
For you, I can see like that. It's. I think like you know this too, which is why I don't want to hammer this. But if you have to spend 6 hours sitting down and like figuring out an idea, right? That's a red
That's
flag.
my biggest thing, bro. And I know that. Thank you for saying that because like I'm trying to figure out how I can do my own content and just know what to post. And that's why I love my series, because I know exactly what to post. I can I have so much better of a day because I'm not thinking about it. I just go on my phone. And make my video. But the series is is that the plural of series? Series is the series don't last, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I agree. Unless it's like, who knows? I know one thing that you started off with was going, here's the most famous TikToker in Wyoming, and you literally just went through all 50 states, right? There is familiarity in a series, right? Where it's like, okay, you did this, like it's obviously a part one of X amount of videos. Like I can also see you doing that, right? Because that's evergreen content, right? With your twist. And like obviously it doesn't have to be states related, it doesn't have to be TikTokers in a state related, but just that kind of like bare bone structure right there is I think something like you could play around with.
Right.
And also I think something too, I know you said like the views hurt sometimes when it's down. Like it's bad on people's mental health.
Yeah.
And like you gave creators the advice of like not looking at the views, but like a part of not like being able to produce content at scale is being worried about the views, like being worried to try while
exactly.
you may be trying different things, you're not trying everything, and
Right.
I think something that could be useful for you, since you talked about my lovely personality, is you just doing like rants, like you just say like what weird thing happened to me today, and I'm just gonna like talk to the camera through John's perspective. See how those videos do. And like once you have a content style of that, where it's like your content is already based off you, but when it's based off of like you not having to look at anything, and it's just like what happened in your day, like your content's like your structure for making content is literally living your life.
Just start talking to the camera. Well, I was talking to my friend James. You know who Pop Like That guy is? James. I mean, he's killing it. He told me that his way of right. I mean, the ladies love him, right? But he was telling me the way he comes up with his videos is he literally takes his phone out, goes on his camera, starts talking to his phone, and then boom, a banger just comes right off the top. It's crazy.
Wow. No, I love that. Every time I run out of an idea where I'm just like, man, like I don't have anything going on, I just think I was like, how can I express the feelings I'm having in this moment in a video? And like I'm telling you, literally, I've done that maybe three or four times where I just didn't have an idea, and I just like say it up front. I'm just like, dude, here's kind of the struggles I'm having right now, and obviously I'm in a completely different like sphere than you are, John. But like it's worked. So
right, that's good content for you.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, even if you can set yourself up a system as well, where it's like people tag you in others' content to see either your reaction, your take, something like again, you know it too. I think that's that's what makes Joe's and Kabi's system so great. They have millions of content ideas coming at them every day.
Crazy.
So, I love it. Appreciate you, man. All love.
Appreciate you
Thanks
guys.
for roasting.
I'm so happy to be on here.
Anyway, John, thanks for coming on. Check
Thanks
his
for
content
having
out at H1T1 on TikTok, _John on Instagram. Where else do you want to plug yourself?
I think that's about it. JZHNC on Snapchat, and that's about it, yeah.
I love it. Dude, you're amazing. You're killing it.
Thank you,
I
guys.
appreciate you. Jack appreciates you. I'm not giving Jack a chance to talk, I'm realizing. So, cool.
All love, man.